Years ago, when I used to work for Stephen Sewer Bell, we used to amuse ourselves from time to time by coming up with oxymorons. Things like dry run, military intelligence, original copy, clearly confused. But our favourite was tasteful inlay. Controversial. Why? Because we used to get asked from time to time if we would do some tasteful inlay. Well, we didn't want to. Now you might notice, you look at my work, this applies to Stephens to actually start putting logos in. If you look at my work, there's no logo in the headstock. Is it because I'm lazy? No. It's because I like the look of rosewood, I like the look of ebony. I find them sufficient luxury. I don't think you improve on it, on like a nice bit of ebony or a nice bit of rosewood, by gouging it out and sticking in a bit of mother of pearl or a bit of gold or whatever it is. To me, it's not an improvement. I mean, it goes a bit deeper than that. I don't think you improve on beautiful materials with unnecessary interventions. I mean, you start, if you're cutting into something which is already perfect, like these woods, they're beautiful. You've got to ask yourself why. So a lot of my aesthetic decisions are decisions not to intervene. And I can speak from personal authority, or as the kids like to call it these days, lived experience. I got my first tattoo when I was 18. I was finished getting tattoos by 22, but I got covered. And at the time, I mean, I should have had the words "look at me" tattooed on us, because that was the motivation behind it, you know. But you know, it was the late 80s. Tattoos were rare. Sailors, criminals, rockabillys, me. What I did not imagine at the age of 18, 19 was that my taste would change. How could they possibly? I mean, 30 odd years later, everyone's got tattoos. Your bank manager, school teacher, your hairdresser. It's actually the people who stand out now are the ones who don't have tattoos. And looking back, and I see pictures of me when I was 18, tattoos weren't an improvement. My eldest lassie, she's in her mid-30s now. She got covered in tattoos in her early 20s. Broke my heart. She was perfect when she was born. She was perfect. She was perfect when she was 20. Whatever it's an expression of, probably an inarticulate expression of that. Something added to make it stand out now will date. It will date. And once it's there, you've got to live with it. Kind of how I feel about guitars. You start cutting into something that's already beautiful, already perfect. You've got to wonder why. What is it you're trying to express? I'm not sure many makers even consider this. It's just so expected of us to decorate. It's become so normal to sort of stamp your name on the head. It's not my job to express myself on the surface of the instrument. I spend a lot of time working on the shape of the instruments, working on the materials that I select, on the binding. Then it's my job to sort of protect that from any unnecessary interventions, including my own. It comes down to taste, and that's a difficult thing to discuss easily. Taste is a conditioned response. I'm a product of my conditions. You're a product of yours. Certain things just look right to me, certain things just look right to you. Doesn't make them right, it just makes them ours. I'll show you some comparisons. Looking at pictures is probably make more sense than listening to me. Some of you are going to prefer the same ones as me, some are going to prefer the opposite. It doesn't matter, I don't take it personally. Just different conditioning, different preferences. This is beautiful design. It's a vintage British motorbike. There's nothing there that doesn't need to be there. It's functional. It's a very masculine design. And when you hear them, oh man, they're phenomenal. They're just beautiful objects. And this is a Harley Davidson. Now, I know which one's more popular. Not that. I know which one I prefer. I mean, I find the Harley a little bit brassy. I'm sure some of you will find the British bike a bit too plain. Now here's another comparison. This is an old English snooker cue. This is where I kind of got my first inspiration for the backstrap on my guitars. And this is an American pool cue. I mean, there's nothing I can say here that you cannot actually see with your own eyes. And you'll know from your own instinctive reaction which one you prefer. So if these comparisons have made sense, you probably also get where my work's coming from. I won't take it personally if you don't like the stuff I do. And don't take it personally if I don't like the stuff you do. Now, you might be thinking, this fella is a bit of a Puritan. I mean, I've been sitting here talking for a few minutes, so it's about time I contradicted myself. There are forms of decoration that I really like. The Japanese have a traditional form of lacquer decoration called Makier. I absolutely love this. To the point where 2014 I went to Japan to study it. There's one teacher at the time who was teaching a superficial course. Still, he was a skilled bloke. He was and he spoke a bit of English, and he taught 5 days a week. People often go like once a week or once a month, and I'll go for years and they'll decorate a piece. I was there every session, 5 days a week for 6 weeks. You know, I was just trying to learn as much as I could about Makier, about urushi, about the material, about the. It's not inlay, it's onlay. The material, everything goes on the surface, and then you sort of lacquer over the top. It's such a clever technique. Obviously, look, this is a lifetime study. A 6-week course isn't enough to, you can scratch the surface. But I was there, I was completely besotted. I love the process, I love the materials, I love the tools, I love the aesthetic. It's such a beautiful thing. But I've never found a convincing way to put this on. I've actually tried, but scrapped it. I've never found a convincing way to put this on my guitars. So I've got a box full of Makier gear, all the shell and the sort of metal powders and the lacquer. I've got it all, and one day I'll work out maybe how I'll apply it to a guitar. Now, some of you who are familiar with my work will be saying, "Hang on, Nige, aren't you getting a bit fancy these days though with your burl purflings?" And you'll have a point. I mean, I've made very stripped down work in the past. I think I took that as far as you can go. You know, how basic can a handmade guitar be? I think what I like about working with burls is that I can't predict the final outcome. These are real live materials, so to speak. You know what it looks like when you cut it up, but when you sand the surface down level, say with the rest of the guitar, you don't know what the pattern's going to be. I don't have total control over the final result. All I can do is influence the final result. That's the thing about working with an organic material like a burl. I really enjoy that, the unpredictability. So, you know, I am using sort of decorative materials to protect the vulnerable edge of the instrument. I'm not averse to complexity just for the sake of it. I'm opposed to unnecessary intervention. I just don't feel the desire or the need to impose on these materials any more than I need to. So there you go. If after I've insulted your motorbike collection, you'd still like to you're considering getting a handmade guitar, send us a message. There'll be a link down below. You can send us a message and we can talk about what might suit you. And if you ask for tasteful inlay, don't expect a quick response.